Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Life Athlete by Sue. It's really great to see you again. Today I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide on how to improve your pain at the hip flexor. Now, most of us have a desk job, and what does that mean? We're sitting in a chair for about 8 hours a day. So what this means for our muscles then is that our hip flexors and our hamstrings in particular are in a shortened state for prolonged periods of time. It means that our posture will gradually change and these muscles are going to start to weaken. So come work with me on this step-by-step guide on how to improve your pain at your hip flexor. Some of you might even have instant pain relief. So without much more, let's get started. Alright, so the first warm-up we're going to do is the progressive lunge. So this warm-up is very simple. We're just going to lunge forward, putting one foot in front of the other, and we're going to come down gradually, not too far at the beginning, and back up, and we're going to repeat for the other side. Now, the further forward you are lunging, the more you'll feel an activation of your hip flexor. As you keep progressing with this warm-up, you'll notice that your muscles are beginning to get more loose, they're lengthening, so you'll be able to actually move further lower towards the ground and until you can actually bring yourself as closest to the ground as possible. If you can't get there initially, don't worry, just come down as far as you can go. And maintain this for 10 repetitions on each side. All right, so the next exercise is called a dead bug. So what that means is we're going to be lying down on our back like a dead bug, and we're going to just lift our legs up so we are making a 90-degree angle at our hips and knees. Now, this is a great exercise that you can be doing in bed or even on the couch. So in a lying down position, all you want to do is you want to lower one leg at a time. So it's about a couple of centimeters off the ground and back up. You want to then bring your leg back up into the 90-degree position. Now, as you come down, you'll find that straight away your hip flexor and your core is firing. So depending on your level of fitness, the level of pain that you've got, you might not be able to hold that position for very long. So initially start with just 1 second hold and back up. And as you get more confident, as you're feeling that you're able to persist a little longer, take it up to about 5 seconds in duration. Now, the way we're going to progress this exercise is by creating a bit of resistance against our knee. So as we come back up from extension back to the 90 degrees, we're just going to push against our hand with our knee for about 5 seconds. What you'll feel here is an immediate firing of your hip flexor. You'll really be able to feel that muscle working. So you're going to come back down and back up, resist. Always remember what you do on one side, repeat and be consistent on the other side. Now, this exercise is really great, again, like I said, for the hip flexor, but also your core. So another exercise we're going to progress to is the glute bridge. Now, this is a really effective exercise that I've implemented a number of times in my routines. And the reason is because it targets so many muscle groups in one action. And it's a really effective exercise, particularly for reducing the risk of back pain, because it really engages your core. And not just that, it activates your glutes, your hamstrings, and your hip flexors all in one motion. So we're going to be lying down once again, and we're going to be engaging our glutes to lift our hips up off the ground. Now, we want to be able to make a straight line from our shoulder to our knee. So at the very beginning, while we're just building our strength, all we want to do is lift our hips up, hold for 5 seconds and come back down. Now we want to do this about 10 to 15 times. You may want to increase this movement as you're getting more confident, as your strength is building. The more you're able to perform, it's a great indicator of, your general strength and fitness, but also you will be able to minimize your risk of pain and injury going forward the more you are able to perform with this exercise. So from there, how we're going to progress this is by keeping our legs again at this angle, our hips nice and high. We're going to lift one leg at a time. So we're bringing our knee towards our chest and back down. Again, the other side and back down. So you just want to hold this movement for about a couple of seconds, bringing in and down. And what you'll be able to feel is your core really engaging, your hip flexors firing, your glutes firing because it's trying to keep your hips stable. So everything is going to be working really at 100% in just one movement. So you want to be able to do this for about 10-15 repetitions on each side. And as you're getting more confident and stronger, you would want to increase the repetitions or the number of sets that you're performing. So using our chair once again, we're going to lunge forward and we're going to hold this position so we're feeling a nice deep stretch of our hip flexor on our extended leg for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then we're going to do again the same thing on the other side. So you'll feel a nice deep stretch down your hip flexor, holding, maintaining nice deep breaths as you do any sort of stretch, and relax. You want to repeat that again on either side, so you're completing 3 rounds. So finally, the last stretch we're going to be doing is a seated stretch, and we're going to just place one leg on top of the other, so we've got a bit of a triangle down on our legs as we look down, and we're going to just gently lean forward, pressing down slightly over our leg until you're feeling a nice stretch at your hip. Again, we're going to hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds, maintaining nice deep breaths and change over. Again, leaning forward with a gentle bit of resistance against your leg so you're feeling a nice stretch. Holding for 10 to 15 seconds and relax. You want to complete each side about 3 times, similar to your other stretch. I hope you found these exercises and stretches really useful. Remember, practice often and do it daily. The more you're doing these exercises, you're going to minimize your risk of pain and mobility issues moving forward. Now, if you do have any back pain or you're having symptoms of sciatica, please check out my other couple of videos that I've done on these topics. It's proven to be very effective and I've had some really great results with my clients. So until next time, hit that like button, hit subscribe, drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. And remember, you're just a few moves away from moving more freely.